Yeah, so these numbers are absolutely wild. Check this out.
Yeah, and Sandra, bear with me. We just got these numbers moments ago, but it's a jaw dropper to say the least. So to set the stage here, let me just explain what these numbers mean. ICE has something called a non-detained docket. Essentially what that is it means migrants who were encountered by DHS but are no longer in federal custody. So who's on this non-detained docket? It's illegal immigrants who were caught and released at the border, released with the court date years away. They're in immigration proceedings, combined with illegal immigrants who have already been ordered deported from the country by a judge but are still here roaming the country. So keep that in mind, this non-detained docket. According to a letter that the acting director of ICE just sent to Texas Congressman Tony Gonzalez, on ICE's non-detained docket, they're currently tracking 425,000 non-citizens who have been convicted of a crime. Of that number,
Think about that. 425,000 non-US citizens. I can't even talk today. Non-US citizens in the country that have been convicted of a crime. Wild.
over 13,000 non-citizens have convictions for homicide and are on the non-detained docket, meaning
There are over 13,000 murderers in the country right now, illegally.
they're roaming the country right now. On top of that, there are another 15,811 non-citizens convicted of sexual assault who are roaming the country right now on ICE's non-detained docket. It doesn't stop there. Those are convictions. The ICE director also says there are currently just under 1,900 non-citizens on the non-detained docket who have pending homicide charges who are roaming the country, and another 4,250 non-citizens who have pending sexual assault charges who are roaming the country on the non-detained docket. So people's eyes might be glazing over right now with all the numbers we just threw at you. Just to put it in a nutshell right here, what we've learned from the acting ICE director via this letter to Congressman Tony Gonzalez is right now there are over 13,000 illegal aliens convicted of homicide who are roaming the United States right now. There are another 15,811 illegal aliens roaming the country right now who have been convicted of sexual assault, and there are even more who are facing charges for homicide and charges for sexual assault. So this just goes to show, guys, the non-detained docket has exploded under the Biden administration to over, I believe it's 7.3 million. They're anticipating it could hit 8 million by the end of the year. But looking at the numbers on this letter right here, there are currently over 600,000 non-citizens on ICE's non-detained docket who are either convicted, 600,000 non-citizens on this non-detained docket who are roaming the country right now. Of that, 425,000 have already been convicted of crimes. 222,000 are pending crimes. And again, the most serious crimes we just told you about, over 13,000 convicted of homicide, over 15,000 convicted of sexual assault. And honestly, that is not a surprise to hear given these horrible headlines we keep seeing popping up in multiple parts of the country almost every day now of a horrible sexual assault or a murder or another violent felony committed by an illegal alien who is often caught and released from custody. And the jaw dropper here too, guys, is all these numbers we just rattled off, they don't even account for the nearly 2 million gotaways who have crossed our border under the Biden administration. Those almost
Over 2 million gotaways. So 2 million people we don't have any records on. That's not counted. But what's even more crazy is, or not more crazy, but in addition to this, I would say, think about this. The chief of Border Patrol came out recently and basically said the price of fentanyl went from $10 a pill before Biden and Harris got into office to now it's down to a quarter per pill. So from $10 to 25 cents. Simple math suggests that that's a 40x increase in supply. So almost 4,000% increase in fentanyl in this country due to the Biden-Harris administration's policies. Not to mention, they also had individuals with high connections to terror. They would usually apprehend about, I think he said 10 to 15 a year. And it went from that to over 100 per year, right? So that at the same time has significantly multiplied as well. Let me hold on. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pull that up so we can look at it just to make sure I quoted that correctly, because I might have said the numbers wrong. So give me 1 second. We're going to take a look at that. Okay, so this here is the ex-Chief Border Patrol agent, right? And listen to what he has to say about who's been coming into our country.
We walk in. We have no idea who and what entered our country over this time. Throughout 2022 and 23, I sent agents to Texas and Arizona to count gotaways. Those sectors could not even put enough agents in the field to see what they'd missed. Simultaneously, in San Diego, we had an exponential increase in significant interest aliens. These are aliens with significant ties to terrorism. Prior to this administration, the San Diego sector averaged 10 to 15 SIA arrests per year. Once word was out the border was far easier to cross, San Diego went to over 100 SIAs in 2022, well over that in 2023, and even more than that registered this year. These are only the ones we caught. At the time, I was told I could not release any information on this increase in SIAs or mention any of the arrests. The administration was trying to convince the public there was no threat at the border. We walk in. We have no idea.
So now let's think about this for a second. All right, so you've got now 13,000, right, convicted murderers walking around in this country. 13,000 convicted murderers illegally walking around in this country, right? I think it was over 10,000 people for sexual assault. Give me 1 second. Let me pull this up and look at that real quick and find it. What did he say? What were the numbers on that? 15,000 accused of sexual assault or convicted of sexual assault. I apologize. So over 13,000 murderers, over 15,000 people convicted of sexual assault, over 425,000 convicted criminals, right? In addition to that, you also have people with strong ties to terror. That's up about 5 to 6x since Biden and Harris got into office. Like he said, they went from 10 to 15 to over 100, right? On top of that, you've got record levels of fentanyl in the country. Enough so where the supply went from $10 to 25 cents. And the Biden-Harris administration didn't want this guy to put out the numbers or really inform the people of what's going on. They have not protected us. They have not kept our border safe. And if they try to come out here and act like they're the party of we're tough on the border and we're going to protect you and all this, and Trump is the problem with the border, that's not going to work. It's not going to work. Anyway, that's all I got for this video. I will see y'all on the next one. Like, share, and subscribe. Y'all have a good day. Peace.